Obviously, I've timed the music perfectly. Whatever, I'll work it out. How are you all? I've been avoiding the news. Actually, it feels a bit kind of, I've got to be honest, scheduling streams works really well for a couple of things, right? Um, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not bothered. That's good. Good. Means all the fucking anti-feminists can, it's fine. So, watch what you want to watch or watch later. Doesn't bother me. This time works for me. So, good morning, Connie. Hope you can stick around. That's great. I don't care. I'm also in competition with Jimmy Dore and all those other people, so doesn't matter. Eventually, you'll choose me because I'm more adorable. You have. Connie's taken sides blatantly. Absolutely. See? The thing is, I love the fact that there's a whole bunch of stuff to watch. Like, actually, you know what? Do give me feedback, right? Let me warm up. This is the fucking no pressure intro bits. We'll get to it. You're going to be fucking delighted by this because I'm serious. I've upped my production game and I've got segments and music and jokes and gifs and fucking, I've gone crazy with the Stream Deck app. So we'll have some fun. But I love the fact that there's heaps of things for people to watch. But do give me feedback, right? If you're a regular and time zones aren't working, I'm happy to sort of push myself sort of back or forward an hour or two. It's of no consequence to me, really. These were just times I chose because it works best for me, but it really makes no difference. I just get up early. Um, um, or stay up late or whatever. I do tend to turn into a pumpkin at night, so I'd rather get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning than like stay up late because it's just my brain just is fried. However, right, I'm happy to sort of nudge that schedule forward or backward. If it's really conflicting with people's stuff and you do want to come on here and give me a super chat or that sort of stuff, then obviously that I want to make sure that works. Again, super chat's not necessary. I'm just saying in general, if you're someone who wants to be a member and wants to participate and all that stuff, and all of those things, I'm not going to build my whole stream around people who demand me changing the times and stuff. But if it's not working for a bunch of people, do let me know on Discord. I haven't put the website link up yet because I've been busy fucking with gifts. But I will do a new scrolly fucking thing. But it's tayalu.xyz, and that will redirect you to the Discord community. We're all starting to chatter there. I haven't been on much because I've been on break. So I've been trying to take a break. I haven't been paying attention to the news, and I feel really bad about that because, like I said, scheduling's good for one thing, which is consistency, making sure that I'm ready. I can pre-schedule. I can get all my work done. I can, I know that this is what's happening, right? But also, I've got a fucking face situation right now. I had a pimple on the end of my nose, which means that I have to cover my whole face, which means if you cover that part, you have to do all makeup. It's just the way that it all works. I'm sure there's a way to fucking fix it, but I don't know anything about makeup. I just do whatever. I just did the face and anyway, there's that. But there's also a more serious one, which is like I haven't been following the news and a schedule, but it also feels like to not talk about the UK and what's going on and in the eastern states with the virus and all that stuff. And it just really feels like if I'm going to come in and be a smart ass and make jokes and roast people, that I'm doing it because I plan to talk about a lot of this stuff before all this happened. And if I'm being glib, it's not on purpose. You know where my heart is. My thoughts go out to you, right? I can't imagine. I'm in this weird disconnect at the moment, right? Where, and also feedback on the sound because I'm waiting on a new, what you call it, fucking shock mic thingy. But I have been playing with it. So hopefully the levels are okay and there's not too much noise. Um, it's just fucking tech. The fan noise on my MacBook Pro like maxes out with OBS and all this stuff, which make like because it's just not fit for purpose, right? It's it's maxing out. It's a 3-year-old MacBook Pro, which it should do the job, but video, it really the fan noise gets quite profound. But that also knocks through on the desk and that sort of stuff. So just be patient with me. These things just take time and money and effort and fucking around, but I'll get there in the end. I'm sure you'll be happy with my upgrade. I showered today. That's a fucking upgrade. Usually I just fucking whatever. Anyway, so but in the UK, right? I've heard what's happened. I'm sorry. It's scary when this happens. And being in WA, I think I said this on New Year's Eve as well, which is that when you're relatively untouched by this whole thing, it's 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 really hard to know what to say or do. And what I thought was I'm just going to go in and we're just going to acknowledge that it's going on, acknowledge that it's shit, because you can't even fucking talk about it because like you get banned and shit. So I just avoid it. But just because I'm avoiding it doesn't mean that I don't think it's important or don't aren't I'm not worried or I'm not all of these, wishing everybody well. But I just feel like we need to just, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I can't really do much of anything except sit and just talk shit and roast the fuck out of everything. So, um, so, what was I going to say? So we got coffee. I'm just Connie. Oh, good. The sound's fine. Okay, awesome. So Connie's here. It's good. I like to just give people a few minutes and also just warm up a little bit. Now, I've got segments with breaks now. You know the drill. I did start editing a couple of clips yesterday, and I have done an edit of the 3-hour stream retrospective down to a 1.5-hour stream. That was as far as it could go. But I cut out all the stuff and got some funny shit out of it. But I'll get better and tighter. I swear to God, if you're going to do YouTube, one of the best ways to learn how to present and learn how to speak and be aware of the noises and filler words that you use is to edit your own video. Because I say right a lot. And it was really funny because there was a point where I was trying to get rid of some right, and it sounded like fucking like seagulls. It was like right. You become aware of these things. Also, I need to finish one sentence before starting another. That's something I've learned. It's pretty hard to edit me because I go at 1,000,000 miles a minute. I need to learn to just slow the fuck down. Not that slow. Pretty slow. But I don't know. What am I talking about? Look what I've got. I've actually literally, look what I've got. I've got a button. Had a good break. I've been busy. I've been productive. All right. So, now, isn't it weird? It feels so weird. I mean, I've always felt a bit weird about the whole COVID thing anyway, because I've always worked at home on my own and been somewhat isolated. I'm not terribly social. This is just an excuse to get out of shit for me. Like, I've always just worked at home in my office, don't see anybody. The only person I see is my husband and my son, right? And the only time I leave the house is for errands and stuff. So it's not really much of a difference for me, like the whole year. And watching everybody adapt to sort of Zoom and all that stuff has been crazy. But also, in the broader scheme of things, like Western Australia, we've been, again, touch wood, like, cross fingers, all that stuff, largely unaffected by this whole thing. Because our policy, our government has their shit together and they're proactive. And thankfully, again, I don't think that any government could do this. I think it's just cultural differences that just make things, it's just a weird fucking thing. But we're just, oh yeah, I'm going out to the shops. I'm going out to yeah, actually, that's a good one. The lockdown blues. I will give some tips for that. right? Which is, it's just learn to enjoy your own company and learn to just be nice. Be self-love is really important, right? Anyway, but I'll move on to that. As I warm up into the segments, there's no real rush. I've allowed 2 hours because it's just, it can be edited. But it's been so weird for me because first of all, I'm pretty isolated anyway. I work from home on my own. I'm largely virtual anyway. I've got clients all over the world. And I don't usually like having Perth clients anyway. I've only got a couple of those, and but mostly I don't work with Perth fucks. Like I work with people elsewhere, right? But so it's just I've been virtual anyway. The only real difference has been really psychological, right? Like having the borders closed and stuff, right? No, and the idea that I can't just get on a plane to go somewhere. Not that I would, but it's the idea of like I didn't know that I wanted to until this is this is my libertarian streak. It's the second that they say I shouldn't do it that it becomes a thing that I want to do. It's always just been right. But it's just it's very weird because what I'm trying to do is be like I'm trying to be empathetic, but it's really hard to not just say the wrong fucking thing. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells a bit, right? Just hang on. Let me just check. For some reason, the chat has messed up again. Just give me 1 sec. Let me adjust it. I apologize, but it's just important that I do this before I start fucking editing and stuff. Hang on. I mean, why wouldn't you go with like me over Megan Murphy, man? What are you, crazy? Hang on. Might be a bit better. Okay, hang on. So, 1 sec. 1 second. I apologize for this, but it's going to annoy me the whole time. And all right, that should be better now. A bit bigger. There we go. Okay. Okay, hang on. Yeah, I'm being a fuckwit. Don't worry about it. I'll just ignore it. When it goes on a smaller screen with Twitter, it doesn't show up very well. So it's good to do these things on the fly if you can. 1 sec. Especially now that I can just edit. It's not an issue. Right. Fucking Bitcoin. You're gonna get my fucking. I thought it was like I missed the first thing from Chickpea Sani where it was like, and I was just like, "What are you pretending to be like a spammer or something?" Oh goodness me, you crazy people. Okay, so uno momento. I cannot speak Spanish, but I'm just going to pretend that I can for a minute. Okay, there we go. We're good. So, no, but it's just really fucking weird. Like, I think I have some weird survivor's guilt so far with this stuff. And again, this could change in a day. Could turn around and change in a day. All right, some fuckwit could cross the border and then all of a sudden, it's on, right? But at the same time, it's just super fucking weird, right? Because I don't know how to be there for people, but it's also easy. Like I've done this a few times where I've just gotten on with my day and gotten on with things and asked questions and been silly and just whatever. And some people are just in the middle of shit, in the middle of it, and I forget that there's a pandemic on. And I forget that everything's crazy and everyone's stressed and upset. And I think that, how we make fun of celebrities for being out of touch. I can kind of understand how when you're that removed from things, how you can mean well, right? But not necessarily, you could even good people can get this wrong. That's why that Imagine video was so fucking funny and out of touch, because they're just, even if you do try to read the room, you might not even be aware that the room is even there to begin with. And that's sort of like for me, like during this break, I had a break from news, a break from Twitter, a recharge. I've been focused on like creative shit. I've been focused on editing and production and all that sort of stuff. And I just haven't really been, I just, after the election, right? And we'll talk about that because there's another fucking election on for some fucking reason. But everyone just goes crazy. And I checked in like for a couple of stories to try and find something to talk about or deep dive on. But for the most part, I've just been not really online much, right? Because everyone's just fucking tense. Everyone's stressed. Everyone's fighting. And I can only take so much of that before it affects my mood. And this time of year, I tend to be prone to depression because I've lost my dad and my grandma, and I don't have my family around, and I don't, all those things. Christmas is hard for me. So I tend to disappear offline and just focus on like myself and having a break and strategic planning for my year and all of that sort of stuff, right? So I kind of come in and I just go, ha ha ha, look at this fucking thing. Look at this crazy thing. Da ha ha, fuck it. And it's like, Taya, also fucking autism doesn't help, right? I mean, it's actually a bit of a myth that autistic people can't read the room, right? That's not really true. It's a skill, like empathy is a skill like any other skill, and I think it just becomes more easily to other people. One thing that autistic people are good at, although I'm not sure if this is an autism thing or ADHD, right? I'm more ADHD than autistic, but is that I take in a lot of information very quickly. That's like super fast processing, so I can snapshot everything. Like like that. I always laugh at the burnt born identity, where when he's in that cafe and he sees that and he does that and the clock's ticking and he sees that person say that and hears that conversation. That's pretty much how I sort of navigate through the world. So when it comes to reading the room, it's easy to do so long as you know the room is there to is something that the context, right? I think that autism is more about shifting context and shifting outside of what you're focused on in this immediate moment and then changing context, right? And that's what I'm not saying anything clinical. I'm just saying this from a personal point of view, that my experience is that it's more about shifting gears and shifting context than it is about any one skill like empathy or reading the room. Like again, people on the spectrum have a wide range of things that they're largely similar, but they manifest differently, right? Especially in girls. So and girls are sort of socialized a lot more than boys. So that pressure to be nice and read people's cues and read nonverbal language and all that fucking bullshit girl dynamics, which I still don't understand. Fucking feminists, I don't understand you. I really don't understand this girl bitchy shit. I don't get it. Maybe I'm a man. Maybe I have internalized maybe I just have I'm a self-loathing trans woman. Man, I just misgendered myself. Cancelled. Oh well. That went in a direction I didn't expect. Just warming up. But so basically the plan is to sort of start doing a few, as you know, few bits, right? Some are segments where I'm just a bit more kind of splainy. Other segments are a bit more commentary, and others are just a bit more riffing and talking shit. And also just, and then editing them down into segments, right? Now the segments overlap, right? That's one thing I've realized is that it's mostly just funny fucking, my segments are basically whatever I could think of, like, like cool band names. I just think of fucking cool phrases. But, I just mix and match and call it whatever the fuck, and we'll see how we go. We'll learn as I go. I'm pretending that I have polish and production values and all that stuff. I don't like being seen to care about things, and it's actually very nerve-wracking. But I think I'm doing okay. So all I'm going to do is, I know shit's fucking terrible. I know that all this in the UK, I'm so sorry. Like, it terrifies the shit out of me that the second we start to get a vaccine, that there's already variants. And I know that it's scary, right? And I know it's terrifying, and I want to acknowledge everyone's pain and the way that I do things is I laugh at fucking funerals. Okay. I laugh at things. And the worse it is, the funnier, I can always find something to joke about. So what we'll do is we'll just table talk shit and say, make up random fucking things. Right. And you'll laugh at my segments. And then when you stop laughing at my segments, I'll create new segments because, the joke wears thin after a while. But I think you're going to enjoy the fucking. Again, I've had to mix it with YouTube fucking free music because I tried to do some other stuff, but everything keeps getting caught up in Content ID and it's just a waste of fucking time and energy. So until I can write and record some original stuff, which I might do at some point, I'll write some music, right? And I've just got to write and record music. Add that to the fucking list. But I'm going to write some silly songs, right? But so that's the thing. So I think I'm scared about what's possible. I think everyone is just that trauma that I've been talking about. I'm just going to sit there and fucking yuck and say dumb shit, right? And hope that it lands and hope that it's funny and just try to find my comic voice and mix that up with my serious voice, and we'll just fucking see what Brand Taylor looks like as we go. How's that sound? So it is. Apparently it's easy to modify the vaccine to new mutations. Yeah, but apparently there wasn't a fucking, I don't know. Apparently we were fine in 2019. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just scary. It's just the unknown for me. And also the fact that I also just feel scared on behalf of everyone else. Mostly because I'm detached from it. I can go to the shop. I can do my thing. I don't need to wear a mask. Right? If I had to wear a mask, I wouldn't go out because I'm claustrophobic. But, I'm largely okay. And I feel like Mama Bear, and I feel like I just want to make everything better. And I don't know how. And other than just talking shit, this is all I can do is talk shit, make jokes, be company, get on a Zoom call if you're fucking struggling, and talk shit and whatever. I don't fucking know. But also just remind you that the world's crazy. It's not you, it's the world that's crazy because there's a lot of fucking people who are invested in gaslighting everyone else at the moment, right? So, So Connie said, this is usually the worst time of year for my mental health. But since this time, the only IRL thing I've had to deal with was Christmas, which was nice. Yeah, it is actually, Okay, so there we go. Let's go back. Let's circle back to lockdown blues. Now, I don't really know how to do that because I'm an introvert and I like being at home on my own, right? I think this is a lot harder on people who are used to social lives. You're my social life. Basically, I've been talking shit on the internet for 25 years and everyone decided to join my party. So I got more people to talk to now and more friends. I used to be Miss No Friend while everyone was out partying. Partying. I used to be Miss No Friend, right? While everyone was out partying. Just in case I edit. See what I'm doing now? While everyone was out partying, and now everyone just fucking went knocking on my door. It's like, oh, we're ill prepared. Reminds me of Ricky Gervais. Remember that Ricky Gervais bit with the lazy mouse and industrious mouse? I'm industrious mouse of tech. So everyone's knocking on my door and they're like, I'm fucking starving and shit and I don't know how to fucking Zoom. That's weird though, isn't it? It is bizarre. Actually, that was something I forgot to bring up in the New Year's stream, was the year that Skype fucking missed their chance. How did that happen? How did it just become Zoom rather than Skype? You got to be fucking. It's pretty funny to think about how Skype have been. I'm the Skype of fucking consultants too, because I've been doing this for as long as Skype's been around, and then suddenly there's your moment in the sun. And you've been doing the grind and making all the sacrifices, and then some young fuck with Canva comes in and steals your shit. Team Skype. I don't know what I was saying. Whatever. Good morning. But really, okay, tips for lockdown. Stop consuming culture wars shit. Number one, it seriously has such a massive impact on mental health. Okay? If you just turn off the news. Okay? Now, check out ground news and sort of those impartial sources just to keep up on what's going on. Like having a news blackout, not knowing what was happening in the UK, and I didn't realize. And then I checked in on friends and they're like, how are you? And they're like, haven't you fucking seen? And I'm like, no. That I felt bad about because I didn't realize. But for the most part, fucking, you know what? I've ignored Trump since for 3 weeks. Been fucking marvelous. I've been barely on Twitter except to maybe post a thing I did that was funny, right? But other than that, you know, it's amazing how much, first of all, how much you get done, right? Second of all, how much fucking sun you get. You know what's become my new fucking pleasure is cleaning my pool. I have a pool in my backyard where someone decided to plant a fucking bougainvillea next to it. I think that's the plant. That's a tree, right? It's an Australian, I think it's an Australian native tree that's got paper-like flowers, basically like putting fucking dandelions right next to a pool in a giant tree form. Then my neighbors have palm trees with fucking like berries that drop, or nuts or whatever the fuck they are, right? So basically my pool is an exercise in futility every single day. I will clean it in the morning. I will go out for 3 hours, put the vacuum on because it needs to be vacuumed every fucking day, right? I'll put the stuff on. I'll check everything. I'll go out. 4 hours later, there's fucking shit in the pool. Does my head in. But I've started to enjoy it because it's almost like a kind of Zen garden thing. Yep, let's complain about your pool having things in it in the fucking middle of a pandemic when everyone's on lockdown, Taya. Fucking empathetic. I'm not being glib. I'm distracting you with my minor troubles. Like they're the end of the world. Imagine there's no... Anyway, we had some wind. We had some wind gusts the other day, and I've got a hammock with a hammock frame. You know those steel, like they're like that, and they got the hammock that hangs on it. And I woke up and I had gotten it's often, if you neglect the pool for a couple of days, it ends up you have to get it right back to where it was. It's just constant fucking vacuuming and effort because of the stuff that goes in it, right? The levels are always fine. It's always clean for swimming and stuff, but it's just fucking shit dropping in it all the time. It does my head in. They don't even have the decency to not fly in the pool while I'm fucking cleaning it. It's like they just do it while I'm looking. Fucking leaves. Leaves are fuckwits. Those leaves are the Twitter bots of fucking swimming pools. That didn't work. But like, I'll be sitting there and I'll just be scooping it and then I'll be changing the filter and then a fucking leaf will just kamikaze into the pool right in front of me. It's like, you can at least wait till I turn around. You motherfuckers. Pricks. Anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, we've got a hammock. And we had like a really windy couple of days. And the fucking thing, I woke up, I had just gotten the pool just perfectly crystal clear, beautiful, right? The day before. Everyone was swimming in it. We were happy. Woke up next day, we'd had wind, fucking blanket of leaves on the thing, and the fucking hammock was in the middle of the pool under the water. Still on the frame, like actually on the frame. It blew like a parachute into the pool. So I got my lifting in that morning. New Year's Day. You know, I wanted to buy gym equipment, but maybe that's better. Fucking exercise and futility. This is what happens when you don't go on social media. You find yourself a fucking thing. Find yourself something that keeps you just busy and preoccupied and cranky. That's like, like vent your spleen on the leaves, not on Twitter, right? I actually also need to show you my radishes at some point. I have to remember to do that. Actually, I'm going to write that down because I've been meaning to do that. I planted radishes when the first fucking lockdown hit. And now they're like giant, like I haven't seen the life cycle of a radish before. But I just gave up on the garden, neglected it, left it, abandoned it. And now we've got radish bushes that I don't know what to do with. I'm thinking of going into the seed business. Because I've got fucking whatever. What was my point? Oh yeah, lockdown. But keep yourself occupied on things that are just dumb. Tinker, right? One thing that we've been enjoying is just playing with things. Like I've been playing with tech, I've been editing videos, I've been sort of avoiding social media as much as possible beyond just sort of daily interactions, right? And sort of trying to change my relationship with social media. As much as I love you all, it can be kind of, preoccupying, right? I'm talking about Eddie Izzard on Friday, by the way. Okay. I'm going to fucking have some fun with that one. Wrote that down too because I kept meaning to write that down. But so it's like it's kind of weird because like these are my tips for lockdown, which is basically my ordinary life, right? Which is don't clean anything, don't shower, and watch all of Netflix if you can. And I'm the worst person to give advice because basically all I do is just fucking work. That said, also, just rather than going on social media, right? Here's a serious tip. I was kidding, right? Rather than going on social media, journal. Write a journal. I think that this is a really good time to start. And I know that it sounds fucking wanky, but just use Evernote, right? Or blog, or even just use Facebook with only me if that's your only thing, or just do a private journal where you just write. Okay, now I haven't been very good at that lately because I do this instead but I'm trying to do a thing where this is Natalie Gold. Actually, here's a book recommendation. Natalie Goldberg, Writing Down the Bones. It's an old book about writing, but what she does and she recommends, it's called Monkey Mind. And what it is, it's basically you sit down and you write for an hour, but you have a pen. It could be a keyboard. It doesn't have to be, whatever, but you just fucking type. Or just write. Don't stop. Just see what comes out. And you get into a flow where you just sort of get stuff out. And you often surprise yourself with kind of weird things that come out, like these streams do for me. I fucking say things that I don't expect to say. And it just sort of, it's stream of consciousness. I prefer to just do this because whatever, it's fun, right? But it's a different thing, different skill set, lots of avoidance, lots of tinkering for this. But one thing that keeps you sane is journaling, right? Right. If you've got a lot of fucking stuff in here, or all twisty up, put on some classical music or some jazz if you like jazz. I'm more of a jazz person. Put on some instrumental music without lyrics, right? And just write, okay? Or in silence if you prefer, or whatever, right? I think you'll surprise yourself. But also just document things. Right. All these things that happened in history, we only know they happened because people wrote shit down. Remember that. All those wartime letters and all those things. Remember, it's because people wrote things down. And I think it's easy for us to get a little too cocky about the fact that all of our stuff that we write down will not be a hard copy or will just be there, right? All it needs is quite a substantial power outage and all of it to go away. So do keep copies of things if you can. All right. Yeah. That's one bit of advice. The other, don't worry so much about your fucking diets and shit. Don't fall into eating disorders and all that bullshit. Okay. Learn a new skill. Maybe learn to cook. I've been, well, I'm a pretty good cook anyway, but I like to learn how to cook. Not the fucking sourdough thing. Don't be a fuckwit, but learn how to do things. Make your own yogurt. Do something. Make cheese. Learn how to make cheese. I know that sounds silly, but it looks like really good fun. That's something I'd like to do, is make my own cheese someday. Don't have time for that shit, but, think about it. There's whatever you like, right? Paul's into metalwork and welding, and he's fucking in his element at the moment. He's happy as Larry. He's on holidays, and he's just making shit in the workshop. I just walk out, and he's grinning from ear to ear. right? And it's makes you happy making things, right? Or just be creative. Do something creative, right? Learn a new thing. Pick up, learn guitar, learn piano, do something like that, right? Start something. That's going to keep you sane, because usually if you're, especially something like an instrument that requires repetitive, obsessive practice, right? Even if it's weightlifting or something, right? It first of all often replaces that need for social media, like that impulse, because it's satisfying. You're learning a skill, so you're sort of getting that fucking stressful cortisol going while you're trying to learn a new skill, right? Um, and also it's something that it's immensely rewarding, right? And at a time when people are probably struggling with employment and finances, it can really take a toll on your self-worth, right? Especially like for me, I know that at this time feeling kind of useless is a big, like my skills are fucking pointless. Nothing I do is fucking worth anything to be able to actually help. And I've always wanted to be one of those people that like could just put their hands up and do stuff. So I was thinking that it might be cool to volunteer for, learn skills that are actually worthwhile, right? I mean, coding is useful, but at the same time, and designing and fucking this, but it's useful, but it's not really everything. I mean, I could probably be hired as a fucking disinformation person, someone who sits there and go, no, that's not true, dickhead. But that's about it. So learn something that's actually like a tangible skill. Right. Yeah, guitar's easy. Learn ukulele. I play guitar for 20 years, but and I learned ukulele. So even though I didn't even so guitar's too easy for me now. So what I did was fucking learned ukulele, and now my brain broke because you've got muscle memory with guitar and the chord patterns are all different. So you end up learning, it's like learning a new thing. Definitely, if you're into guitar, learn a differently tuned string instrument. It'll break your fucking head. And now I play ukulele, and now if I switch between the two, I get confused. Anyway, um, so yeah, but also just go easy on yourself. That's it. Just go easy on yourself and try not to worry about stuff that's outside of your control as much as possible. I know that it's really hard when it's impacting you, but sometimes there's just things this is something I've learned, like I think over the years the most, is to just only focus on things where I can actually do something. Right? If I can't do anything, there's no point. That's why you won't see me talking about things I can't fucking, there's nothing I can control, right? Like things that I just aren't in my control, right? Or wheelhouse, because there's no point. It just causes you anxiety, right? Anyway, so we're ready to see a segment. I'm going to show you, actually, can I show you I showed you my gifts, didn't I? I got some new gifts. Look at this. This is fucking brilliant. This is the most uncomfortable gift I've ever seen. Also, my face is too shiny, but that's okay. And this one. And you've seen this one before. Hey, I learned some stuff. Okay. This is how you survive lockdown. With dumb shit. This is how you survive anything in life. This is how you survive anything difficult or hard or painful. With dumb shit. Right? We were talking about my granddad's funeral, actually. I went to see my grandma. And apologies for talking about this if it's upsetting for you, because people can't. But I went to see my grandma, and we were talking about my granddad's funeral, right? And he had quite a horrific death. He died of Creutzfeldt-Jakob's, right? And so it was quite traumatic for everybody. But we were at his funeral. My uncle sang a song called "Coward of the County" by Kenny Rogers, right? And then "The Gambler," because they were his favourite songs, and he chose them for his funeral. But my grandma didn't know that it was a song about fucking rape. And it was just, and also my uncle who was doing the music, right? They didn't just play the song. He's a karaoke master. So he fucking sang it in a cowboy hat. I was just like, that's how you fucking deal with shit. That's how you deal with pain and trauma. You fucking karaoke about rape at a funeral. Oh, that was funny. That was the funniest fucking thing ever. Anyway. But yeah, just learn to find stupid things funny. If you I mean, obviously if you're watching my shit, you're probably inclined that way anyway, because I'm a fucking idiot. But generally just try to find just say the dumbest shit you can think of and see if it lands. And if it does land, write it down. Right? And if it's really offensive, don't tweet it, but send it to me and I'll steal it. Oh, goodness me. So, I think I've warmed up. Now I've got intros with a 2-minute break in between, just because I need to stretch my legs and adjust my posture and fucking look at my notes between segments so that I actually don't talk shit. I do talk shit. So I talk less shit. And Taya, remember to finish sentences before you start the next sentence. Sincerely, Editor Taya. And stop saying right. And you know. Right. Right. Fucking seagull. Fuckwit. Slow down. Slow. He knew I was going to do it, didn't you? Slow down. I'm a dickhead. Such a fucking dickhead. You know I'm not like this. I'm just more like this person. Quiet and just thinking things are dumb. Trying my luck. Seeing what happens. So anyway, in my ignoring of social media, I did notice that they fucking tried to boycott Walmart, and that made me laugh. So I'll do the segment break and I'll show off my fucking segments. Because I'm pretty proud of them. I'll switch them out and, have fun with them and stuff. But, we've got Calm Your Twits, which I think some of you have seen. But the music choice is funny and, I'll just fucking have fun with it. Now that I've got the workflow, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So, let's go. I'm going to take a quick break, get the pubes out of my throat, stretch my legs. Oh, I need a Larry David fucking gif. I'll work on that one. I don't know either. I live in here. Said that before. I live in here. It's frustrating to watch, but I live in here. Remember that. So, don't hit the stop button, Taya. Hit the segment button, because the stop button hangs up the stream. This is why automation is bad sometimes, because I have too much power with the single button. But let's do this. We'll be back in a minute. Imagine there's no fuckwits. That needs to be a song. I definitely need to record that. Remind me. What segment is it? Oh, this one. All right. The mic's muted while this goes on, so fucking back in 2 minutes. There's an 80% chance that at some point in the next fucking couple of streams, I will see that, and then I'll walk back, and like it'll flick, and there'll be an empty chair because I wandered off and forgot and started yelling at the kids or something. Automation is bad for everybody. Hello. So, there's no reason for those segments really, other than the fact that it just is an automatic thumbnail and is a cut point, and it just provides focus for me. It's going to work well, especially seeing as all the topics overlap as well. So let's see how it's a bit ambitious. So, welcome to Calm Your Twits. I like that name. So Connie asked, what did Walmart do this time? Have you been following this last week? I'm a week behind because I've actually got some fucking in-depth stuff. Not in-depth, never in-depth. Different angle stuff, right? Thank fuck for editing. I really benefit from editing, by the way. Just so you know, I really benefit from it. It works really well. I've just got to learn to pause so that I can edit and finish my sentences. Okay. Fucking dickhead, Taya. Now, so boycott Walmart. This one's a funny one. So I was on a social media break. I haven't really been paying attention, but I went to look for sort of the story of the week, the outrage story. So Calm Your Twits as a segment, right? Right. Now I'm aware of it. This is awkward. Anyway, so Calm Your Twits as a segment is a thing where I like start again. Calm your twits. Got that bit. Everyone's losing their minds, and there's probably fucking like something underneath it that I want to talk about, but I don't want to do the outrage stuff anymore. I'm sick of the outrage stuff, right? I am absolutely fucking sick of it. But what I'd like to do is talk about it and see if there's an issue underneath that we can talk about without the fucking outrage. And this one's a good one. This one's a good example. Now, I'll get better at this, as time goes on. Honestly, this whole stream is like America dominated at the moment just because they're the biggest fuckwits. I also don't want to pick on the UK at the moment because obviously of what's going on. So, I mean, America's America. I mean, we knew they'd fuck it up. We didn't know the UK would. We knew the Americans would. But so it's kind of punching upwards at the moment. Anyway, so I will explain what happened. I'm going to go through and actually, Connie, just to address what you said, I'll edit one of yours sometime. It'll be fun for everyone. Yeah, I would like some help actually. So do feel free to download the videos from YouTube. You can get a plugin, or I can just send it to you. Like I can FTP my videos to you if you want. And feel free to edit any clips that you thought were crackers, because otherwise I'm going to have to go back and find them all. But if you want to do it, that's fucking fantastic. I actually learned that, okay, I know, side point. I actually learned that a lot of gaming streamers do that, where they actually just FTP the video file, and their fans and Twitch people and all those people clip them. It's a whole subculture there. It's really cool. It's actually a really cool setup. So feel free. I'm not going to copyright anyone. I think it's great. Go nuts. I've said all the sorts of things. I own what I said. Take it out of context. Just, again, number one rule, don't be a fuckwit. As long as it's not defamatory or, damaging or cruel, then go nuts. If it's funny, if you can make me even funnier than I am, I can go for it. So, I went on and saw boycott Walmart, right? I'll read the article to you, Connie, so that you know. Now, where's my buttons? Such a fuckwit. Laptop screen. There we go. We're back. Sorry about that. I created a scene and it didn't add. I was fucking with it. Sorry about that. Thank you. Thank you. Good-o. Just chatting. Now. One sec. There we go. Okay. Let's start again, shall we? So, I was fucking with the thing anyway. Just give me one sec. I'm just going to, again, some of these things are new scenes. So then you end up having to fuck with things for a while. And then everyone fucking leaves the stream. But that's the purpose of this stream. So we should be, just give me a minute. That's the best I can do for now with the chats. I apologize, but that's what we'll do. Okay. So, why are people boycotting Walmart? Well, why this time? This one's actually pretty funny. And I'll tell you why I think it's fucking funny. Part of it is about fucking America and how frustrating it is to watch them stumbling onto class consciousness. Just stumbling, but completely absolutely lacking the toolkit in which to fucking have a proper revolution. Right? It's fucking hilarious. Oh, hang on. 1 second. That's better. Okay. I do find it funny, right? I also may say things repeatedly, or if I didn't say it correctly, because this is now the recording stream that gets edited. So I apologize. You're just going to have to be patient with me. But look, it's just amazing to me, right? Where they keep accidentally stumbling onto some fucking class consciousness and they get so close and then they just fuck it. It's amazing. There's nothing more amazing than watching Americans just get so close and then take a 45-degree turn into fucking batshit town. And this is a really good example of that. So, boycott Walmart. What happened? So you might remember Senator Josh Hawley from the tech hearings. He was the fucking hot Republican dude that like took Jack and Zuck to town and sort of made not everyone, some of us, Taya, a little bit horny in the pants. Okay, because but now it turns out Josh Hawley's a fuckwit, so whatever. But in the big tech thing, he was the guy, the young guy, right, in the tech hearings. And so you're right. You might remember him from such data videos as Zuck and Jack. Zuck and Jack are fucking back. Yeah, they can't all be winners. In fact, 90% of them are not. Zuck and Jack are fucking back. Starring that guy from the Facebook movie that I can't remember his name of. And that guy who I can't remember his name of. All right. Anyway, can't win. Gonna go. Move on. Why are people boycotting Walmart, right? So I got this from MSN. Why are people boycotting Walmart? Boycott Walmart explained. So Republican Senator Josh Hawley, you remember him from the tech hearings, right? And Walmart had a social media dispute Wednesday, which led to the hashtag boycott Walmart trending on social media, right? And it's quite funny because, it's pretty funny. So what happened? Hawley said Wednesday on Twitter that he plans to object to the January 6, 2021 joint session of Congress. Calm down, it's more interesting. I know this is boring, but this is where it gets interesting. Okay? Yes, I know it's politics, but I'm actually going to be talking mostly business shit and tech shit. Joint session of Congress, which will look to certify President-elect Joe Biden's presidency. The official Walmart account responded to Hawley saying, "Go ahead, get your 2-hour debate, hashtag sore loser," according to screenshots of the tweet. So it was subsequently deleted, right? Hawley then responded to Walmart saying, "Thanks, Walmart, for your insulting condescension. Now that you've insulted 75 million Americans, will you at least apologize for using slave labor?" Left hook, fucking right hook. Or maybe you'd like to apologize for the pathetic wages you pay your workers as you drive mum and pop stores out of business. Now, what's interesting about the US right and the US right and the US progressives, right, is that currently we're seeing a weird realignment of parties around class. Fascinating. It's fucking fascinating. It's retarded, but fascinating. But so anyway, we'll talk more about that. So what happened was this. Thanks, Walmart. Go ahead, get your 2-hour debate, hashtag sore loser. Right? Thanks, Walmart, for your insult. I'm just going to do it with this screen as well. Thanks, Walmart, for your insulting condescension. Now that you've insulted 75 million Americans, will you at least apologize for using slave labor? Or maybe you'd like to apologize for the pathetic wages you pay your workers as you drive mum and pop stores out of business. Ba-ba. Walmart deleted the tweet and issued an apology. Now, I want to talk about the fucking apology. Okay? The tweet was mistakenly posted by a member of our social media team who intended to publish this comment to their personal account. Walmart's senior manager told the Washington Examiner, "We have removed the post and have no intention of commenting on the subject of certifying the Electoral College. We apologise to Senator Hawley for this error and any confusion about our position." Right? Hawley became the first senator to confirm his plan to object to the Congress session. So anyway, so it's boring. But this is basically what happened, right? Ignore this bit. So this is the statement that I'm going to focus on, okay? If it'll let me highlight it. There we go. The tweet was mistakenly posted by a member of our social media team who intended to publish this comment to their personal account. Walmart's senior manager told the Washington Examiner, "We have removed the post and have no intention of commenting on the subject of certifying the Electoral College. We apologise to Senator Hawley for this error and any confusion about our position." Right? Now, what got weird, okay, now, where's the other bit? So, here we go. This is what happened here. So basically that happened, right? Now, where's the rest? So basically what happened after this was that Josh Hawley went, "Fucking what? No, it's not over. It's not over." And then they started going after them. All of the fucking pro-Trump accounts, all the Hawley accounts, all the Republican accounts started saying boycott Walmart. You know, that usual fucking thing that they do, that little tanty that they throw. What they didn't anticipate, right, which is the funny part, is that a whole bunch of progressives on the left turned around and said, "Yeah, we agree. We should boycott Walmart." Here's the reasons why. So what we're seeing is this strange realignment on issues, right? And this is where I think it's almost like nature is healing a little bit, where it is just really funny to see this class consciousness play out. But what happened, right? I fucking thought that article had the thing in it. It didn't. Well, I fucked up, didn't I? But basically what happened was that after this, the MAGAs went nuts, like they always fucking do, right? Everyone went nuts. The right decided to boycott Walmart. And then the left said, "All right then, let's do this." Now, the left have a few other... When I say the left, you know I don't mean the left. The fucking right. right? But there is a progressive like aspect to America, but basically they didn't anticipate that the progressives would align with the MAGAs and make boycott Walmart trend, and it become this big fucking deal. This backfired in a big way on Walmart. It really did, right? It backfired. Because now that's what happened, okay? In my really inarticulate way, I explained kind of what happened, but it's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to focus on is the fact, is the excuse, right? Is the excuse. Let me go back to camera. Hang on. Check sound. Okay. What I want to focus on is the excuse that was made, which was, it was the wrong account. Okay. Now, do you believe that? Are you fucking stupid? Okay. Now, right? Now, right? Fuckwit. No. Right? Okay. Let me just think. So their excuse was basically that it was the wrong account. So basically, we're supposed to believe now, right? I'm going to do that every time. We're supposed to believe that an employee was able to accidentally tweet something that they intended for their personal account that was okay. Cool. Cool story. Does anyone fucking see anything wrong with that? Has anyone worked in social media before? Has anyone worked on a major global brand social media before? Ever? How did that happen? Okay, so I went and looked at the tweet because my first instinct was, okay, bullshit. First of all, in order to, like, these tools aren't designed this way. That's just not designed that way. You can't just give someone access to a Twitter account, right, without giving them the login and master password for the account. Also, I would hope they had two-factor authentication on their phone. Also, I'd hope that they'd have two-factor authentication on their fucking account. It's a major global brand. What the fuck? So first of all, in order to do that, right, now, I did check the tweet. It comes from the browser. So that checks out. But Walmart use one of the enterprise social media management tools, right? That's the thing. Bullshit. I don't know how this happened. My first instinct was bullshit. Bullshit. Okay. My first instinct was, why is everyone just taking this at face value? Like, seriously, why is everyone just going, oh yeah, I do that shit all the time. I have access to, I don't even do that. Like, even a small business uses something like Hootsuite, right? Even a small business, once it becomes like multiple social media accounts, it becomes easier to just manage Hootsuite. There's two scenarios here. Either Walmart are catastrophically fucking incompetent, which is highly likely. I mean, I've worked with brands. I imagine, okay, here's one scenario. One scenario is that their employees, right? I would argue that they're probably, right? Their employees are offshore, probably. Knowing Walmart, probably offshore. They're probably working from home because of COVID, right? You never know, right? I imagine that, again, I'm not assuming. I'm just saying how I know the business to work, which is that a lot of people don't realize that social media management teams, right? You've got your strategy and you've got your tactical stuff and you've got all of those things, right? But then you've got your day-to-day customer service people who are usually an offshore, like they're basically like a call center just for social media, right? They're farms in the fucking Philippines where they're paid fuck all, right? That's a whole other issue. Or, Nepal or Philippines or Bangladesh or wherever, right? And they just do scripts. Or they have a bot, that will just do an automated response. That's usually how a brand account of that size would have social media management tools in place. Then you'd have sort of a small-ish team. I don't know how big it would be, but the major brand team would, I don't know. Again, I'm speculating, so I won't speculate how big that team is. But they're the people who are usually strategic or, just sort of making content. Then you've got your agencies, right, who produce campaigns. It can be a mix of any of these things, right? I'm not sure, actually, MacArthur asked which of the major PR firms represents Walmart USA. Do you know? I'm not sure. I didn't look that up. But what I did look up was what social media management tool they use, which it's actually Sprinkler. And Sprinkler, look it up. It's actually it's pretty fail-safe. In fact, one of the things that they actually sell Sprinkler off the back of is the workflow and the fact that this cannot happen, right? So I looked at some of Walmart's sort of scheduled brand tweets, and most of those are coming from the Sprinkler publishing platform. This one came from Twitter web, right? So that's confusing. But again, I was like, well, how the fuck did it go from Sprinkler? My first instinct when this broke was, first of all, bullshit. Okay. Second of all was, did anybody ask if Walmart is using a troll? When you say troll farm, it's not just a troll farm. A troll farm is basically an agency, right? That a digital agency that hires staff to do social media for you, and they're offshore. They're in an office building and they sit. They don't just sell. Some agencies won't take on dodgy clients, but they don't just sell sort of political troll farm stuff. They also sell legitimate services. They're sort of like offshore developers. Like, they have a wide range of customers. So why, I'm sitting there going, why did nobody ask that question? I'm asking it, but why did no one ask that? Right? Which is, first of all, how does that happen? Who is that employee? Where are they located? It seems awfully odd to me that, knowing what we know about sort of bots on Twitter and the troll farms, that nobody, especially Josh Hawley, right, who has been on them at the tech hearings, are so unsavvy that they don't realize that he is a target for a troll farm, right? Sorry, start again. That he's potentially a target for a troll farm. It's obvious Josh Hawley is sort of gunning for 2024, if not 2028. He's got that. You can tell. You can always tell when they've got that sort of early. They're trying to, make a splash with certain things. He's trying to get known, right? Right. He's trying to make himself known, obviously. They've turned off the troll farm accounts, I think, for Trump a lot of them. And they've probably redirected a lot of the resources towards, like, senators to try and pressure them to, vote for the election, all these things, right? Why does nobody think that it's not fishy that someone would accidentally be abusing a senator whilst also logged into the Walmart brand account without asking whether they also manage other accounts? Because for me, okay, I walked through, I said, well, what's more likely in terms of the tech, right? Okay. Fuckwit, right? Get it out of my system. No, but why does nobody think that that's at least on the table as a question? Because my first instinct was, oh, it looks like someone's forgot to switch which client they were tweeting on behalf of. Walmart uses sweatshops. They use slave labor. They use fucking troll farms. I'm sure of it, right? And they're not troll farms, but they're marketing agencies, offshore marketing agencies and social media management companies. The Sprinkler platform that Walmart use is another civic engagement platform. One of those civic engagement platforms that I've talked about before, those CRMs, right? From the Democrats. Why is no one asking this question? I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just saying, why did nobody push that and just go, oh, yeah, that happens? It doesn't fucking happen without massive amounts of incompetence. So here's the scenarios, right? 1, Walmart gives a master login and password to all of their fucking social media team to put on their personal devices alongside their personal account. That's a fucking cybersecurity issue of epic proportions. So that's, again, you can put all the security policies in place. You put all the processes in place. All it takes is one person to go, fuck it, I'm going home to work for the weekend. Can I have the login and like set it up? I get that. Right? I get that. But that's like that's a massive fuck up. That's a massive security breach. Why is nobody turning around and going, oh, okay, if that can happen, that means that some people on your team aren't very fucking cybersecurity conscious. It seems like people are just handing out master. Like if I was the CEO, heads would be fucking rolling over this exposure, right? Right. I'm just like, I'd be sitting there going, what the fuck happened? First of all, what I know to be true, the way they treat their fucking labor, the way they treat their staff, you can guarantee that Walmart utilizes offshore customer service people like in their social media teams with scripts and shit. Okay. What I know about these places is that they have, like I said, multiple corporate clients, multiple different clients, multiple political clients, and are largely will take on clients such as abusing senators on behalf of other accounts. I want to know what account they were going to log into to do that. I want to know specifically which account they were intending to fucking abuse a senator with. On company time, I might add. But I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they were tweeting after hours or whatever. But I'm just saying. Okay. Why is no one asking that question? The way Twitter works in your browser, right? People think that it works the way that it does for a personal account. It doesn't work that way. If you've got 100 people managing a social media account, you don't give them all the logins. You don't give them the login. You give them an enterprise tool where they actually go in and they tweet on behalf of the company. That would never touch a personal account. First of all, they're incredibly expensive. So the per seat cost of these tools is huge. So these tools are designed to keep it away from your personal account so they avoid these mistakes. All right. The other is that they're logged into these tools, logged into a CRM in an offshore fucking thing. They forgot to switch between troll farm mode and Walmart mode, and no one's asking that fucking question about who's paying for the fucking people. A member of our social media team. Bullshit. Bullshit. Now, I'm not saying that this is, I'm just saying what's more likely. Again, I know that it's probably one of those things where incompetence, Hanlon's razor, right? Incompetence is more likely than a conspiracy. But I'm also saying that we know what's true here. And no one's asking the questions. And the reason why no one asks the questions is because they all fucking do it. It's all AstroTurf bullshit. No one's talking about these things, these troll farms. And the fact that it is just so endemic and baseline in every social media strategy for every corporation. Also, how do we not know that Walmart has a bunch of anime accounts to harass fucking politicians? Bullshit. I want more answers. I can't even log on the same fucking computer without it like sending me a text message. How the fuck does this happen? Right? These enterprise grade tools are designed to stop this from happening. Now, the only thing that makes me think that this is like the plausible like solution is the fact that it came from the Twitter web. When you actually look at the tweet, right? You can see that it actually says, you can see what software posted the tweet. So you can see Twitter for iPhone or Twitter for Android or, Sprinkler Publishing, which is the main one Walmart use, or Twitter web, right? And this one said Twitter web. Now that opens up other questions, such as, like, how on earth do they have a personal account? And are also, they'd need the password. They'd need that master password for that account. And that account obviously doesn't have 2FA in it. So either that doesn't have 2FA 2FA for people who don't know is two-factor authentication. It's the annoying fucking text confirmation code thing, right? Right? They don't have it. They either don't have two-factor authentication turned on, which is fucking disastrous and possible, right? Because corporations are fucking full of incompetent people and shit floats upwards. Or they're sitting there and they have got their work computer and they're staying logged in, taking it in their own time, right? And they're able to flick between their personal account and their professional account without fucking any friction whatsoever. Like, I'm sorry, but SOS is not really a good answer. How do Walmart handle people's credit card information? What's Walmart's privacy policy? What about their DMs? What about their customer service questions? This raises a whole bunch of fucking questions around security. It's not just, sorry, my bad. Because I also know that there's not one person who only has the password to Walmart's brand account, because I know that these teams are large. I also believe that they're probably offshore. So it's not only a cybersecurity thing, it's a fucking, it's an international cybersecurity issue. You don't give, I know the protocol, you don't give fucking offshore agencies your master username and password. Imagine the damage that could be done there. Imagine the exposure. Again, it's one of those things like the Bitcoin scam, when all those blue checks got the Bitcoin scam thing. It's not what happened. That was funny. It's the potential for the damage that can be done. Walmart's powerful. Walmart can start trade wars. Walmart can fucking start all sorts of things. This is not just a fight with a senator, as funny as it is. Right? And it annoys me that now this has become a pile-on to Walmart because they fucking insulted Trump, rather than people getting to the root issue here, which is the fact that a major global corporation who is known for exploiting labor in the global south and is highly likely to have a offshore social media team, knowing those offshore social media teams also have other clients, there's a possibility that they're actually using a troll farm. And that person actually forgot to just switch between fucking clients. And I want to know who was abusing that senator. I want to know who thought that was actually a good idea. I don't think it was someone's personal account. And I don't think they're in the United States. Why is nobody asking that fucking question? I know why. Because they're all doing it. Because they're all paying offshore fucking people no money to swing people to their side. Right? That's why there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars spent on advertising in the United States election. And these agencies, they take it all, they hide the money, and then they offshore it. Right? I honestly think that there's questions here. Right? Yeah, MacArthur Sparks said, I'm guessing Walmart invests more serious dollars in crisis comms in 2021 and the grift moves along. Well, no, I don't think that well, yes, but they also, yeah, every big corporation invests in crisis comms, right? But no one's asking the question, who thought it was okay to abuse a senator on company time? If it was company time, I don't give a fuck about company time, but most people do, right? Who thought it was, who's logged into a Walmart account in the browser? If they are, if there's a protocol around sort of seniority and access, what level of access, what vetting process exists for this stuff, right? So is this a senior social media manager at Walmart who in their spare time, again, employees can do what they want in their spare time. I believe that, but this crosses a line into not being on spare time. Are they using the company computer? If they're using the company computer you see all these questions that come up. And we all do it. I fucking blogged for I was bored when I was a public servant and my project was on hold. I spent most of my time surfing the net and blogging and all that shit. Right? Fair enough. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that nobody's asking these questions. I hope they are internally, but I don't think they'll just invest in more crisis comms. I think there's serious questions to ask here in terms of security, privacy, the damage, risk. I hope that this, Walmart CEO probably don't give a fuck. It's probably, I don't know who the Walmart CEO is. I could have looked that up. I didn't. But I imagine that they're a fucking, boomer dragon who just delegates this shit to a 23-year-old and says, don't bother me with your fucking bullshit. Right? We know. Refuses to see these things and refuses to fucking hire a decent high-level strategist who would turn around and say, this is a bad idea. Or they're using teams that have multiple Twitter accounts. I think it's more likely, if you ask me. Again, that's my professional opinion, is that it's more likely that they forgot to switch which client they were using than between personal and professional, because just in terms of InfoSec, right, just being able to do these things on a work computer is very difficult. It's pretty locked down. I find it quite difficult to believe, to be honest with you. Right? Because I just from what I've seen, you can't do that. It just doesn't work that way. Right? And this is the question: these are questions to ask Walmart, right? Are they using an offshore center for their social media? Again, oh well, you're racist. Cancel. No, it's a risk. Okay, fuck off. Which account was supposed to be abusing the senator? I want to know what account that was. And whether they had an anime avatar or looked like a bot or were part of a troll farm. I want to know. I want to see the account that was doing that. So I can pass Tay's eyes over it and declare that it's fucking fake. Right? Which I will put money on. Was this part of an AstroTurf campaign? Were there any other tweets that said hashtag sore loser? Because it looks like they managed to make sore loser trend. Now, I'm not saying I need to look at the details of that, but there's questions to ask. I love how everyone just goes, oh yeah, oh shit happens. No, it doesn't happen that way. A brand like Walmart would have they do. I looked it up. Sprinkler. It's an enterprise grade tool that sells itself on this shit not happening. One of the major, so Sprinkler, again, people bypass the tools all the time. This could have just been one of those scenarios where they were at home and they fucking told to tweet and they had to do this thing. And, but why do they have a login? Why are they logged into the Walmart brand account on twitter.com on a company computer? And if they're not on a company computer, why are they doing it on a personal computer? There's a lot of questions. A lot of questions. It's just insane how people just went, oh yeah, that's cool. Haha. Boycott Walmart for slave labor because Hawley fucking owned them. Hawley didn't say anything. And do you know why Hawley didn't say anything? Because Hawley fucking probably hires those things too. They all do it. That's why we need to start looking at bots and being able to identify these things. Like people just don't get it. It frustrates me. Anyway. Any questions on this? Anything you want me to clarify? Because I can edit it and add it into the video. It's not about the fucking, it's not about, that's actually, well, that is actually funny though, to see that people are just united in boycotting Walmart for different reasons. But that's what we're seeing in the US, this weird ass class consciousness. But they don't have the tools because they've been told that Marxism is fucking communism. They're all mixed up in their head. They don't realize that Marx was right and that if they read Marx, it would validate everything that they're feeling. And it's just very funny because they're like, took our jobs, mom and pop stores and fucking Merkins. It's like, no, working class, fucked over, revolution. Well, that's the thing. See, but the thing is, MacArthur Sparks said, you're right, a lot of questions need answering. The problem is it's hard to know what is intentional and what's an actual mistake in PR snafu. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, it's not outside the realm of possibility that Walmart also runs sock accounts. They're a massive corporation with a vested interest in keeping their fucking, workers' rights and all that stuff down. They fucking hate Trump. I'm sure of it. They want the old Republicans where, Trump's a little too class conscious, a little too working class friendly for them. These workers are getting a bit too big for their fucking boots in the eyes of Walmart. I'm sure of it. And they're going to start asking for, minimum wages and, decent working conditions and stable employment and fucking healthcare. I mean, God forbid that happen. I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility that Walmart spend fucking money on troll farms to intimidate and bully and astroturf people, their political opponents, and come out scot-free when they're under scrutiny. That's another possibility, is that it was an employee, but they're actually paid to fucking do this stuff. And again, I'm qualifying it. I'm just saying we're talking about possibilities. I'm not making claims, of course. But it's not outside the realm of possibility that if you're a massive corporation with corporate interests and you've got a social media management team, that you're going to maximize that social media team to your advantage. Again, not saying anything. Just saying. Right? So, MacArthur, yep. And now US-style capitalism is a revolving door of elites between government reins, PR executive teams, and deputy secretaries of deputy secretaries of state / treasury / justice. Absolutely. And that's what I'm finding hilarious. And I'll talk about that with probably the force the vote bit when I talk about it next, which is this weird, it's fucking weird and cool. As an old school fucking lefty Marxist who watches these people who have no idea what the left actually is, scrambling for class consciousness, and it's just right there. It's just right there. And they can't quite grasp it because they haven't been given the toolkit in which to fucking fully see what's going on. So you've got the MAGAs on the right being dummies going, fucking, mum and pop stores. And then you've got the left being, well, workers' rights and all that sort of stuff, slave, all that stuff. And they're kind of realigning in a very strange way, where they're seeing that both parties don't represent them. And that was interesting with Josh Hawley, though, to see a Republican go in on the working class. That's a strange fucking shift, isn't it? It's interesting. I don't know. I think that he's just trying to get headlines. I don't know. It seems like an opportunist to me. Seems like he's sort of padding the nest for a future presidential candidate. He's got the looks and the charm and the that sort of thing going for him. So I can see how he would be having his eyes on the gaping hole in the fucking presidential candidates next time around. But it's a weird alignment, isn't it? It's quite interesting. But I think we just need to keep poking them a bit and go, Marx is the answer. Read David Graeber. Read Chomsky, realize they don't give a fuck about you. And the MAGAs, and it's like, well, I'm just going to keep plugging away at the MAGAs and realize that they're just going to keep yelling at me, calling me a communist and calling me names. And, we hope for the best. We hope for the best. I'm trying to help get my arguments happening and stuff, but this legacy of Red Scare is backfiring in a big way, but it's actually working as designed. People are all confused. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. But why no one's asking the question about Walmart, I have no idea. Oh yeah, shit happens. No. No. How does that happen? Oh, goodness me. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break. Does anyone else have anything else to comment, say? I think we're good. I'm going to take 2 minutes break again, and you're going to laugh at this segment. Laugh at this one, I think. Because it's like roasting the shit out of Americans. Wouldn't have it any other way. Which one is it? This is my new segment. Jerking the Merkins. Thanks. It's fucking hilarious. Jerking the Merkin. Now, I'm fading, so I'm not going to be long. I think I've got enough here, but I just want to quickly talk about Force the Vote, which is something that you should probably keep an eye on, mostly because I feel like I started to talk about this with Walmart, right? But this weird realignment, I think we're actually do you know what I think we're seeing? I think we're seeing a new real working class party movement emerging. I hope. Democrats don't represent the workers. They don't. They never have. They're center right. There's no left. Like, progressives join the Democrats thinking they can fucking change it. And then nothing ever fucking changes. They don't. Nothing changes. You sit there and you give all the fucking blowjobs, and then you just keep making making concession after concession after concession after concession. And then I've been in politics. I know how it works. Eventually, it's like corporate life, right? It's being an adult. All these things where if you just erodes away bit by bit by bit by bit, and then 10 years down the track, you realize that you're fucking dead inside. And that's what we're seeing with AOC, unfortunately. So progressives join the Democrats with the hope of changing it from within. They keep trying. And we're seeing an interesting thing unfold here because we obviously know, again, I know this is a US dominant thing at the moment, but I thought it's a deliberate misdirection because I know that the eastern states here are fucking stressed out. Everyone's stressed out. And the one thing that we can do that unites us all is laugh at American culture and how crazy they are. And I know they're stressed out too, but I'm just saying, we just watched the TV show, the reality show known as the United States of America. But this happens here too, but you're largely successful. We have a very strong sort of left-wing faction in our centre-left party, right? But in the Democrats, they're clearly right. There's a progressive caucus, but they're basically largely sidelined. They're fucking fighting, begging for scraps. They're fighting over fucking committee seats, and they're like just constantly just falling into line. So basically, I fucking hate Nancy Pelosi. She can get fucked. Right? I hate her. I think she's a fucking terrible person. She's smug. She's everything that the Democrats just represents everything that the Democrats have become. Her and Hillary Clinton, but whatever, fuck it. Now, poor AOC, I feel for her. She's a dead woman walking. So why I think it's important to have a look at what's going on between sort of Jimmy Dore, AOC, Cenk Uygur, mainstream Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, and the Progressive Caucus at the moment with the hashtag Force the Vote campaign. I kind of have to say that I don't necessarily agree with Jimmy's approach, but I understand that he's correct. I think he's correct on this one. It's really fascinating. Let me think for a minute. Right? Fuckwit. Right? What is interesting to me is what we're seeing is AOC joining. He's like a dog with a bone. Jimmy Dore, watch his shit with AOC at the moment. So she got elected off the back of Medicare for All, campaigning for Medicare for All, saying that the Democrats need new leadership, pushing for progressive issues within the Democratic Party. We all know this, right? She's woke as fuck, but let's just ignore that. I think she's all right. She's doing the best she can. She has to pander to the woke shit, right? It's fucking part of it. Let's suspend that. I actually generally like her. I think she's young and naive, but I like what she's got to say. I largely agree with a lot of what she says. I find it amazing that there's a fucking shit fight over single-payer healthcare in the richest country in the world. I find that astonishing during a pandemic. I thought that was a no-brainer. Who knew? God, we're spoiled here. We really are spoiled here. And we're not spoiled. That sounds like we fucking don't, it's not a fucking right. It's not the right thing to do. We're not spoiled. Americans are fucking really just abused by their government. This is an abusive fucking relationship that the people have with their government. I swear to God. It's fucking abusive. But basically, so AOC, as you all know, AOC campaigned off the back of sort of progressive court stuff like Green New Deal, Medicare for All, and I largely agree with this stuff. Again, devil's in the detail, but I largely agree on that politically. Now, what's really funny to watch is watching that conflict happen between the machine eating you and your soul dying and the money being good and all the promises and the carrot dangling and the credibility carrot is what I used to call what I call it. It's like this credibility carrot where if she just compromises this one time, it's like with the lean in thing, just be that little bit nicer, that little bit longer. Just compromise a little bit more. I used to be like that. Okay. And then I got to the age of 40 and realized it was bullshit. It's bullshit. It's like trying to fucking marry an emotionally unavailable man or woman. They're going to dangle you. They're going to keep you there. They're going to keep you just where they want you, but it's not going to fucking happen. Same thing's happening with the Democrats right now, where AOC and other members of the Progressive Caucus have very quickly realized that they're not going to get what they want. Okay. Now, obviously, progressives like Jimmy Dore and other people are frustrated about this because they see a window of opportunity. Progressive Caucus has grown in size. If anything, people have actually, the base of progressive Democrats, they've been getting elected. They're the only ones that are winning. The people that don't fucking win are corporate Democrats. It's only those Democrats that are running on largely progressive issues, right, that are actually getting anywhere. Now, they're not delivering on their promises. Now, Jimmy Dore saw an opportunity, which is good during the pandemic. I'm not going to talk, just go watch his shit, right? But it's just really interesting to see this shit fight unfold from afar when I've got no skin in the game. It's just, I'm watching this happen. Again, class consciousness. People are very quickly realizing that the Democrats don't give a fuck about them, right? It's very interesting. So let me just pause and take a sip. Get the cock out of my mouth. Wipe my mouth. Right? So, yes, I have, but yeah. It's just social democracy. It's the same thing. It's like whatever. Just yeah. I'm not going to be sidetracked into a niche political theory thing on this. This is more of a segment. But there is it is a marrying of sorts between the populist factions of both parties. So this is actually a popular. So okay, now this is my segment. I'm going to ignore the comments because it takes me off in a tangent, and I'm trying to talk about something else. That's a theory thing. It's a separate segment, but it's that I have just explored distributism. I'm aware of these things, and there. What do you mean, somewhat a middle way between authoritarian communism and laissez-faire capitalism? What does that even mean? That's called social democracy, like all of the world have. You might put it. Has an American invented a new word again? Is it distributism? It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm just roasting you now. Is that an American term where they made up a new idea like it was a new fucking thing and it's not? It's the thing that has been largely working everywhere else forever. Socialism is a compromise. Reformist socialism, social democracy. That's not socialism. That's not communism. Anyway, there's probably one fucking model that's like one economic model. Like fucking, that's semantics. So, I think America could give socialism a go first, or basic social democracy a go first, and then start to move on to the sort of more niche things. That's okay. I'm just roasting. It's all right. So, so what was I going to say? So putting me in a position where I have to recall specific terminology and specific theories derails me a little bit, because then I end up trying to recall that because I am obsessively then in the back of my head trying to recall what that is. So it's just a feedback for you as a commenter that's just how my brain works. It's not your fault, but I will now fixate on trying to recall that stuff rather than say what I was trying to say. I'm also trying to explain stuff to everyday, ordinary people who aren't interested in politics beyond sort of superficial stuff. So just to assert myself a little bit there. It's all good. I love participation. It's great. But if I ignore it, that's why. Because it's not that you've done anything wrong. It's just I have to. Because now I'm sitting here going, okay, what's the thing about that? And that's theory and the date and fucking history of that thing. That's my autistic brain working. I can't help it. Yeah, you can write your own stuff if you can, or talk to me off chat. But when I'm on streaming and driving 8 cars at once, it's now just like I fixate on terminology and stuff. So, okay. that's just feedback for everybody, because I think a lot of people sort of try to have a one-on-one conversation with niche shit that people can't possibly recall. Go to Heather and Brett for a really bad take on this stuff, if you want that kind of thing. So I'm just going to pretend that I can't recall everything when I'm doing this. That's just God level fucking attention span and recall, and nobody can do that. So okay. So anyway, so what's really funny about this? And I also want to keep it light, because it's just being funny and making fun of things, because things are very serious at the moment. So I don't want, it's not an educational channel. It's just, there's plenty of places where people take themselves seriously. Okay, so what's funny about this is it feels, when Trump, because Trump kept everything, like I said on New Year's stream, Trump for the last 4 years, 5 years, right, in the lead up to the election as well, he kind of kept the crazy at level 9 all the time. Like when you're at a party and the music's going and everyone's talking, and then all of a sudden the song stops and everyone just stops talking, but you keep talking and you say something like, and then I fucked her and her nappy fell off. And everyone just turns and looks at you. It feels like that kind of, there's that instant kind of drop in the crazy a little bit. Part of that is probably because I've had the break in social media. But I think part of it is also the, there's like this weird, I said this the other day, like nature is healing. Because when you've got the corporate left, I'm saying that for the Americans' benefit because I don't want to confuse the poor souls. The left, the corporate Democrats versus the progressives versus the angries, versus the fucking tankies versus the commies versus the libertarians and the Marxists and the feminists and the wokes, and everyone's fucking fighting. It's almost like when the left is fighting like that, we're heading back to normal, right? When they start fighting over who's more fucking progressive and who's more pure. I mean, I know we did that for the most part, but Trump derailed a lot of that, which was that a lot of people who just disagreed with it was Trump or anti-Trump, and it was like woke or Trump supporter. That was it. But now all the other stuff, the other crazy kind of comes out, like the fucking tankies. Tankies is my favorite word, or trot. Tankies and trots. We all know those people, right? The funny people, the crazy people, the green-haired people who aren't woke. Right? Woke, culturally appropriated tankism. Cancelled. But the old socialists, the old commies. Fucking people who are communist and fucking mean it. Right? People who are fucking feminist and fucking mean it. Those people. But when they're fighting against everyone else and we're having this purity spiral, it's generally a sign that things are going okay. Because it actually is a sign that far right enemy, because one thing the left can do sometimes is rally around an election and rally around an enemy on the right. Okay. They can usually unite for a few hours. But it's just like in the Australian Labor Party here, every time we get elected, there's fucking change of leaders every 6 months. And they're all stabbing each other in the back. It's great. It's funny. That's why I love the left. And it's messy and it's complicated and it's emotional. We're emotional people. That's how we're driven by our emotions a lot. We don't understand why the world doesn't work the way we want it to. It's pretty funny. But seeing that happen, but seeing sort of, because I do feel for AOC a little bit, right? But I also don't, because she's been bullshitting this whole time. Okay, so the plan that Jimmy Dore has is basically, the Progressive Caucus, right, which is for Australians watching, that's like a faction within the party. So we use the word faction. So basically the progressive faction within the Democrats, they organise and all of that stuff, and they sort of align around policy, right? They're part of a faction it's organised. It's like a party within a party. Within a party. Fuck me. It's amazing. This is why people who don't know how party politics works are funny, because they think that like the Democrats is like united in the first place. They just managed to unite for like an hour on election night, and even then it wasn't strong, right? Just funny. But the so Jimmy Dore has been putting pressure on AOC. He was a large part of her campaign initially, like in terms of social. She was on his channel. This is like YouTube drama mostly, like YouTuber Jimmy Dore, comedian Jimmy Dore. He's been on Joe Rogan. I largely agree with him on most things, right? And he basically said, well, you've got enough members of your caucus now. Nancy Pelosi needs re-electing. Why are you fucking supporting her? Or at least, why aren't you trying to get something for your vote? That's his thing. It's not just a given, right? And that's the thing, is that he's really just holding her to account for her promises. And he's basically saying that so basically within the Democrats, you've got a large number of people who support Medicare for all. Corporate Democrats bought out by a big fucking pharma. Of course they are. Don't want that. So Medicare for all is like our version of like our universal healthcare system, NHS, single payer. They don't want that shit in the US. Too much money. Okay. Too many bribes and all that shit, right? Fucking broken system. They got really nice teeth. Perfect teeth. But you pay for it, right? Perfect teeth, but poor people can't get fucking heart surgery. Priorities. It's all about the veneers, isn't it, in America? So let's just let my brain go where it goes. So basically, Jimmy Dore's putting a lot of pressure on AOC and the Progressive Caucus to force a floor vote. Now, floor vote forces everyone on the floor to vote for Medicare for all. Now, that's not going to get up. However, what it is going to do is get people on the record as either for or against Medicare for all during in the current situation, with no help, no support, no aid, nothing but a fucking, ridiculous stimulus, whatever, right? All this bullshit that they're talking about that's inadequate, and they keep blaming Trump, right? And they keep blaming Mitch McConnell, all that stuff. Forcing that floor vote basically just makes people show what their position is on this, on universal health care. And that means that in the midterms, so Jimmy's thinking long term. So what he's doing is he's pressuring AOC and her ilk to force a floor vote on Medicare for all. I know I'm explaining it really fucking simply and badly. I know there's complexity, but it could be a 7-hour video. I'm not going to be boring. I just want you to know the TLDR of this stuff, which is basically you need to basically make sure that you zugzwang Nancy Pelosi. Okay, zugzwang is my favorite word in the world, and it means no winning moves. So what you do is, rather than Nancy Pelosi turn around and say, hey, AOC, you're going to vote for me for speaker? And AOC's going like, yeah, cunt, I love yous. No matter how much you fucking don't help anyone and somehow inexplicably get rich in office, and you're a fundraiser, and I've been on the record as being heavily critical of you, but now I've changed my mind. What she can do is withdraw her support for Nancy Pelosi for speaker and try to fucking negotiate. And then basically there's a shit fight. Shit fight. You're seeing Cenk Uygur fucking go after everyone. All the people who are on the payroll, which is really interesting, payroll people, are all just falling into line and basically just calling Jimmy Dore fucking alt-right. Yeah, same old script, alt-right, fucking blah, blah, blah. That's not how it works. And I think Jimmy's correct. I think he's right. He's got her where he wants her. She's got her over a barrel, and she's had to show that she's not actually willing to take the risks that she was all talk, basically. But what's funny about this, there's no real analysis. We're just laughing that fucking somehow it's a shit fight that, sick people get healthcare. As an Australian, that's fucking amazing. It's amazing to me. Like, our system is not perfect by any stretch, right? There's things like elective procedures. I need a procedure at the moment. I'm in immense pain. I can't get it because it's an elective procedure and it's expensive. But for the most part, right, for acute care, most chronic care, if you really need it, you get healthcare, right? If you really need it here, I mean, I could, again, it's only, again, when I say the surgery I need is expensive, it means I have a $6,000 gap payment, right? That's like the super expensive, like, and private health insurance premiums. That's the maximum amount of money that I'm going to pay, right? That copay, right? They're gradually trying to introduce fucking American style healthcare here, but we do still have the semblance of a good public health system. And I think that we've had that wake up call now that investing in it is a good thing. Right. I think that again, it's just different cultures, right? We value it. Same thing with the NHS. NHS, yes, they'll chip away at it. The Conservatives will always try to fucking rationalise it and pay it less, right? And treat workers badly. But they're still on board with the principle of the NHS. It's the same thing, right? Yeah, so MacArthur Spark, Walmart, Facebook, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Twitter, plus Big Pharma and all the massive insurance cause banks need to underwrite Medicare for all. They owe it to their customers. Yes, they do. Absolutely. But they're the ones that are actually, funnily enough, they're the ones that actually the Democrats' major sponsors. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that? I mean, I'm not going to say anything about the transgender stuff, but it seems like an awful fucking coincidence. Anyway, all this shit comes out of America. All this crazy shit comes out of America. Yeah, they do have enough freaking money. They do. They should also pay their fucking workers a living wage and not, like at-will employment is just insane. The fact that you can just walk into work and just no fault and do nothing and your employer can just get rid of you and you lose your health care. It's insane. It's insane. At least here, even if you're broke, even if you're fucking homeless and you have fucking 2 cents, how fucking old am I? 50 cents in your pocket. And something happens, you can get an ambulance and you can go to the hospital and you can get fucking health care. Like, Jesus. I mean, yes, they do have Medicare here, that in America for that, right? I'm just saying, I'm simplifying. I'm generalizing. It's mostly actually the working class and middle class. You got to be super poor to get health care. Obamacare did sort of fix it, but there's still people missing out. It's insane to me how for-profit this is. Like, yes, and we've got that here. See, I'm under our thing is that our health insurance our private health insurance is just as expensive and just as shit. Right? They still will knock you back on certain things, and it's considered it is pretty much essential if you've got any sort of major. It gives you a private, so with the way the private system works here is that everyone gets the baseline stuff. If you really need it, it's going to fuck up from time to time. Again, I have my issues with the public health system, but that's mostly because I'm a fucking medical freak, not them. In most cases, it works. With that sort of basic stuff. Chronic healthcare is an area where they fall down, but if you need elective surgeries and those sorts of things, but there's still a waiting list. You can still get it done eventually. Okay. Now, in Australia, private health is becoming increasingly necessary, but it's not necessary and it's not necessarily tied to your employment. So it's something that you just buy over and above, right? So like any other kind of insurance. I buy it, we get it because we have a lot of chronic health conditions and I like a private room. So that's what the perks are. You get a private room, choice of doctor. You can get it straight away rather than having to wait. Elective procedures, dental, optical, that sort of thing, right? It's an over and above thing. And it costs the same as American healthcare. We pay $260 a fortnight, which is for the Americans, every 2 weeks. A fortnight. We pay, about $500 and something a month for the family's private healthcare, but that pays for itself because I need a lot of shit. But generally speaking, the public system is excellent. Everyone pays a levy, and it goes in there. And most people are on board with the public system. It's only if you want fancy pants fucking healthcare that you get into the private health system. Even if you drop out of the private health system, you still get the vast majority of healthcare. And if you have an elective thing that ends up being serious or chronic or painful or anything like that, you would still get care. You just got to wait. You're just prioritized, right? Which is a good system. You triage. Now, I also like, the reason why I like private health insurance here is because I don't like public emergency departments. I find them to be, they're generally good for most acute, like when you're fucking at death's door or hemorrhaging or, in those sorts of situations. But if you've got a chronic, like I've got pancreatitis, and if you need to go there, and Paul's got back problems and ulcerative colitis and stuff. So if you've got acute pain for a chronic condition, it's very difficult. So you don't get admitted and all those sorts of things. Whereas if you go into the private system here, you go there, you get looked after. They usually give you your night in hospital, where you just feel better. You get your pain managed, all of that. Also psychiatric care and those sorts of things that, you might want later. But I find it just astonishing that this is just, is there any issue other than America is amazing in every way, and America is a democracy that you guys agree on? Is there any issue that we can actually just put out there, like that you are polarized, completely polarized on? Goodness me. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. You're just completely divided. It's just in the culture. It's just astonishing. But it is funny to see the left fighting again. It makes me feels a little bit like a warm blanket for me at the moment. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm just saying I know that shit's real. We've got the Georgia fucking election, all that stuff. Still, somehow, after the last fucking election, they've got another election on. And another $340 million raised. Fuck me. It's all bots. Anyway. So I think I'm going to stop. I was going to explain the Georgia stuff, but I'm fucking sick of talking about it. I'm just going to, I think this is just too onerous to do too many things in one stream. So I'll do this 2 streams and maybe one main and one little one and some like silly stuff. MacArthur Spark, I apologize if I was a bit too direct. I was just I think it's more for other people to understand that I don't want to be seen as rude. And sometimes if I'm direct and I go, I have explored that issue. I just can't recall it. And then the way that my brain works, this happened at a party the other night, actually, where I was trying to remember a fucking word and I couldn't. And I knew it was written down in my office. I left the barbecue. I left outside, came inside to look up the word because it was bothering me so much. So if you ask me about an obscure thing that I am familiar with but I can't place, that's what happens, is that I then am, my brain is fucking over here going 70% over here, obsessed with trying to like go through my processor. It's like I got too many tabs open and this one's using fucking too much memory. So it's, So I think maybe what it is that might be a Discord and I can discuss it on off stream kind of thing, or Twitter or something, if you're on Twitter or whatever, or a comment, and then I can maybe just store it for a future topic if you want me to talk about it. It's just really hard. Like, people don't understand how many, especially now that I'm also studying the fucking psychology, I'm going to be filling my head up with other shit as well. That immediate recall of things, nobody can do that really. If they say they can, they're lying, because I've got a really good memory, really good recall, and really good gift of the gab. And if I'm saying I can't fucking recall everything, then they've probably got Google open like everybody else. What's that word again? I do that all the time. So it's just, yeah, it's not, I love the fact that people are participating. I just didn't want people to leave my stream having chatted thinking I'm being rude or ignoring it or whatever. It's actually just explaining, it just the way my brain works. You'll end up taking, I'll just go, hang on a minute while I look that up on stream. That's just, yeah, I'm going to go and look it up now. You know that. That's just how I am. I'm obsessive. I'm this person who walks into a library and I get stressed out because I know that there's no ability for me to read all those books in my lifetime. The fact that I can't do certain things in my life stresses me out. And I know that I'm all for transhumanism if it means I can live long enough to know all of the things and have a million things. All right. So anyway, I'm going to go. I love you. Thank you so much. Join my Discord, tayalu.xyz. If you want to support me, tayasmith.com.au, and the links and shit here, whatever. Fuck, I hate this grifty shit, especially right now. How poor taste is that, Taya? Fuck. Anyway, I love you. Thank you for your precious life seconds. And I will see you on Friday for a similar kind of thing. And I'm going to try and upload some clips. And I might even do some work. I love you. Bye.